Too much times I'm seeing people in this life who do not have not one standard. Hey everyone, welcome back to a whole new video. Welcome if you're new. If you are new here, welcome to my channel. My name is Michelle, so welcome. And for my returning subscribers, my regulars, my day ones, thank you guys so much for tuning in and thank you so much for being here. I'm finally bringing to you guys a how to reinvent yourself in 2025, or if it is that it's something that you want to do now, that obviously you have the opportunity to reinvent yourself at any point in life. I definitely believe that if you want to change something about yourself, or if you want to change things about your environment, or just change you as an individual, you definitely don't have to wait until the new year. You can definitely start at any point in your life. But I also know that people are like gearing up for what is to come in the new year, and you may just not be in a position to mentally and physically and emotionally devote yourself to, let's say, reinventing yourself or rebranding yourself. And so that may be something that you are looking forward to do in the new year. And so I was like, you know what, we're at the end of the year when people are still trying to figure life out, including myself, and I felt like this video would be a perfect timing and a perfect video for anyone who is just really looking to reinvent yourself in the new year, or just want to have a different approach on life in 2025. So with all of that being said, let's jump into the video. So before we get into the video, I also wanted to mention that reinventing yourself doesn't necessarily have to be a complete overhaul of your life. Small and practical steps can actually lead to big changes in your life. So you don't necessarily have to do a complete overhaul of yourself, but of course the small practical things that you do in your life will definitely allow you to be in a position to reinvent yourself. The first tip that I would recommend is a change in your mindset. Now you're definitely going to need some sort of mindset shift, because I think this is the foundation to actually reinventing yourself and to actually changing your life in general. If you want a successful and positive life, you're definitely going to have to do a mindset shift, and that would allow you to get the things that you want in life, and it would allow you to let go of the things that you're actually hanging on to. So those negative emotions or those negative traits that you have in your life, or those negative things that you have in your life, you're definitely going to need to let go of those, because one of the most important mindsets that you should have is that of growth. Growth is very important in your life journey. We should all be growing. You should not be stagnant, or the aim should not be to be stagnant or to be in the same position as 6 months ago. And having a growth mindset would really help you to step out of your comfort zone. I think one aspect of growth is being uncomfortable, and sometimes when we're so comfortable, we're not growing because we're so comfortable. And so if it is that you do want to reinvent yourself, I definitely feel like you are going to need to have a mindset shift or a change in your mindset. And it's definitely going to be, it could be that first step of just wanting to grow and being in uncomfortable spaces and being in uncomfortable positions, because again, that's the only way that you are able to grow. And not only being in those uncomfortable spaces, but also knowing that you have the capability to achieve whatever it is when you are in those uncomfortable spaces. The next tip that I would recommend is releasing whatever is not serving you. If something is not serving you, you're definitely going to need to release it. And I think that this is very important, because if it is that you're going to be reinventing yourself, you should not be holding on to things that are no longer serving you, because half the time, or most of the time, these are things that are actually suppressing you. Okay, these are things that are actually suppressing you, and so you're definitely going to have to look to releasing anything that's not serving you. And it doesn't necessarily have to be external factors. It could be habits that you have that's not serving you. Let's say if you're eating badly, or you just don't have discipline. It could be relationships as well, and it could also be unhelpful thought patterns, and that is where you would definitely need your mind your shift in your mindset will come in handy, because of course you'll be releasing those negative traits, those negative things, anything that you feel like it's not serving you, it's not helping you, it's not helping you to grow. You definitely would be able to release it. So again, it doesn't need to necessarily be external. It could be internal to what is actually holding you back to achieving the goals and the things that you want in your life. The next tip I would recommend as well, you're definitely going to need to get into your self-reflection era. You're going to need to be honest with yourself as to the things that are happening in your life. Self-reflection, when you listen to majority of the self-development books that you read and the things that you do, you definitely have to have a form of self-reflection. Self-reflection is also very important for people to do. I personally believe in self-reflection because, trust and believe me, I cannot grow without me doing some sort of self-reflection, because sometimes the problem is not the people around you, sometimes the problem is you. And when you are in that self-reflection space, you definitely want to be as honest as you can with yourself. And you also want to ask yourself questions such as, is it me? Because sometimes we're the reason why things are not working out in our lives. It's no one else around us. And so that's why it's important for you to get into self-reflecting if you are getting on a journey of reinventing yourself, or if you just want to be that best version of yourself. You cannot be a best version of yourself if you're not reflecting on the things that you have done and being honest with your approach on how you have done things so far in your life. And before we move on to the next point, I would definitely say you want to make sure that you're consistently self-reflecting throughout your reinvention or becoming that best version of yourself journey. Tip that I would recommend as well is making sure to let go of relationships that are no longer serving you. And sometimes in life, it's hard to admit, but some people are genuinely in our life only for a season and a reason. Sometimes someone comes into your life to teach you a lesson. Sometimes people come into your life only for a season because that is the season they needed to be there. And so sometimes we like to hold on because we're so loyal or we're so comfortable. But sometimes it's important in life to let go of things that are no longer serving you. You cannot become the best version of yourself if you're still entertaining things that you know is not good for you, or this person has where you're going in life, this person definitely is not in the position to come at this time. And I know it sounds mean, I know it sounds so mean, but wasting time or trying to maintain relationships that are actually weighing you down is only going to hold you back from creating the life that you want. Because sometimes people are in your life, but they're in your life and they're suppressing you in your life. And sometimes you know that this person or these people are people that you're definitely going to have to like remove from your life, but you don't want to do it. But it is a necessary thing to do if you do want to create the life that you want and to live for yourself. The next tip is to taking practical steps towards your goals. Now, if you're going to reinvent yourself, then you definitely have goals that are non-negotiable. These goals are things that you're definitely going to have to say, hey, these are the goals that I've set out for myself, and this is what I'm going to achieve in my own right. And so the excuses that you have been using for the goals that you have set out for yourself is not going to work in this reinventing journey or reinvention journey. You're definitely going to have to step up, show up for yourself, and make sure that you have an actual plan to achieving the goals and the things that you want to do in your life. You're not gonna grow if you stay stagnant. It does take time. You know, if it is that you want to save $100 million, you're definitely not gonna be able to do that in a year. But as we say in the Caribbean, little full up a basket. And so that should be your mindset. So as you achieve certain goals, it is going to be completed and you'll be able to tick off things off of your list. But you definitely need to take a step and hold your goals in hand and say to yourself, listen, this is what I've set out to do this year. You may not achieve all of your goals in a particular year, but at least you've work towards achieving some of the goals that you have, because technically some goals are more long term than short term. Some things you can do it tomorrow and achieve it. Some things you need a 6-month period, some things you need a year period. But to actually take active steps to achieving your goal is definitely something that you're gonna need to do. And that procrastination in you, you need to let that go. You don't need to let her go, because procrastination or procrastinating is of the devil. When you are deciding to go on this new me or reinventing journey, do not let others deter you from the things that you know you want to do. Sometimes in life we have people around us, obviously we have people around us who we think are our support system, but sometimes they're not very supportive. Sometimes people actually deter you from the goal that you want to have for yourself. Sometimes you're like, oh, I want to go back to school, and someone will be like, why you want to go back to school now? You're in your, why you want to start this new career? You know, why do you want to change career paths or whatever? Why do you want to start a YouTube channel at the age of 50? Like, people will deter you from the things that you genuinely want to do. And that's where, one, you have to let go of people that don't serve you. Two, you're definitely gonna need to surround yourself with a good group of people that will support you, people that's actually going to help you to achieve the things that you want to achieve. And to be honest, not everyone will like what you've decided to do in life, and so that is where sometimes you will get that deterrence. That's where you'll find people are not as supportive, or they can't see the vision that you have for yourself. And so it's very important to always keep in mind that although you can get advice from someone, and you have a mentor. Mentors are very important to have. It's also important to know that don't let anyone deter you from something that you want to do. If you want to start that business, go ahead and start that business. If you want to go back to school, go ahead and do that. If you want to do the same thing as someone else, move to a whole new country, once the opportunity presents itself and you're comfortable, go ahead and do that. Because at the end of the day, you have to live for yourself, and you're definitely going to need to stand up for yourself in this instance, and just always keep to the back of your mind that you're not going to let anyone deter you from the things that you know that you want to do. The next thing that I would recommend as well, when you want to reinvent yourself, you're definitely going to need to create a life vision. Yes, it's good that you want to reinvent yourself, you want to do all of these things, but what is your life vision? What it is that you vision for yourself? And the funny thing about it is, sometimes we have all of these things that we want to do, but realistically, does it align with our life vision? Does it align with the things that we want in our life? Does it align with that vision of our lives? Sometimes it doesn't. So that's why it's very important for you to get a clear picture of what exactly your life vision is, to ensure that whatever goals or things that you want to take part of, or things that you want to do, it aligns with your life vision. Next tip as well that you want to take into consideration when you are reinventing your life is to make sure that you're making your mental health a priority. Mental health is something that people talk a lot about now, and I'm so happy that people are doing that, because I feel like it's not something that we spoke about maybe 10 years ago. Like, people would speak about mental health maybe 10 years ago, but I feel like the push to ensure that your mental health is of a good one is very important. I feel like sometimes we went through COVID, some people still have not even gotten out of the COVID funk or the COVID feel, which some people are still working through that. And so it's very important when you are reinventing yourself to make sure that your mental health is of priority. Make sure that you're in a good mental space, and it is just as important as taking care of your body. Sometimes we speak about, oh, we want to take care of our body, but our mental space is not in a good space, or our mental health is not. And if you're going to be creating this new life, or creating reinventing this new life, you definitely want happiness to be a part of it, you want clarity to be a part of it, and you want to be at peace. And so it's very important to take hold on your mental health. And there are many ways that you can do this. You can do this by setting boundaries. You can do this by having morning and night times, or even routines, changing your routines and your habits. You can do this by self-care. Self-care is very important. I think sometimes we're just not taking care of ourselves the way that we need to, and you definitely can do this by seeking counsel, seeking professional help from a therapist or a counselor that would help you to walk through this life. Because again, your mental health is very important, and sometimes things are not working out for you, or things are not, you're always coming to a stumble, or you're always coming to a stop, because technically your mental, the capacity that you have mentally and where you are mentally cannot get you over that hurdle. It's not because you can't get over that hurdle, it's because your mental health is not in a good space. People also need to understand, like someone said to me, oh, you're a desk job worker, you're not tired. No, people who do, for me, I personally feel like someone that sits down at a desk and have to work at a desk every single day, sometimes you're so mentally drained that your body cannot move. Like, it's that your mental is so important. And to also check in often with yourself to make sure that mentally you are in a good space. Next way you can reinvent yourself is also by raising your standards, and this is a huge one. Too much times I'm seeing people in this life who do not have not one standard, and it is crazy to me. And I'm not only speaking about women. There's a lot of women out here that don't have any standards, where I'm judging y'all, okay? But there are also a lot of men out here that when you speak to a man, it's like, dude, where is your standard? Like, I don't know if society makes men feel like sometimes they should not have boundaries, or they should not be setting boundaries, or they should not have a level of some sort of standard. But I frequently speak to people and I'm like, looking at the guy and I'm like, guy, where is your standard? And personally for me, I'm not gonna date someone that don't have any standards. And I think it goes both ways. I think it's very important that if it is that you do not have standards, get some. And if it is that you feel like your standards are not where you need it to be, you're definitely gonna need to consider raising those standards, raising the bar. Okay, you need to raise the bar, because you will never positively reinvent yourself if you just accepting everything. Like you're just accepting everything. You have no standard in life. You're just accepting anything and everything that comes to you. You're definitely not going to be able to reinvent yourself in a positive way if you're consistently doing that. Because sometimes the things that you're accepting is actually negative things, and things that are not good for your mental, not good for where you want to be. And so you're definitely going to have to take a step back and say, listen, these are my boundaries and this is my standard. This is what I'm willing to go to, and this is where I cross the line. Like, this is not what we're doing, right? So I definitely think if you want to stop sabotaging your life, raise some standards. You cannot accept everything that comes to you and think that, oh, I'm just being a nice person. You can still be nice with standards. You can still be nice with boundaries. Also, when you raise your standard, it gives you a level of confidence that you definitely will want. It gives you a level of self-esteem, and also it gives you an opportunity to be respected. People do not respect people who have no standards. And that's just the reality of life. People will call you difficult. They call you all sorts of names in the book, but they would be like, that girl, I know, or that guy, I know that he's not gonna be okay with ABC. The final tip I'm gonna recommend is believe in yourself always. Believe that whatever it is that you decide to put yourself in, you definitely can do it, and take things one step at a time. The reason why you want to take things one step at a time as well is to make sure you're not biting off too much of what you cannot handle. You don't want to overdo. You want to take your time in this process. This is a journey. Life is a journey. You may start off reinventing yourself in one way and end up in another way. And so it's very important when you are on these different journey, the journey to bettering yourself is going to take a lot of time. You're gonna have a lot of hurdles because of course the things that you know you used to do, you're now having to change. It's an adjustment. You're trying to create new habits, you're trying to create new routines, and you want to be mindful and take your time when you're doing it, all while believing in yourself that you definitely can do this, you definitely can achieve this goal. At the end of the day, anything that anyone wants to do in their life, they can do it. If you do not like something about yourself, you're the only one that can change it. Like literally no one can help you to do that. That's definitely something that you have to decide to do. And the final tip, I feel like I keep saying it's a final tip, but the final tip as well is to always be open with your journey. Whatever journey you're on, be mindful of it, but also be open to the new things that are gonna come your way. When you start reinventing yourself, you're gonna meet new people, you're gonna have new opportunities, and so it's very important to be open to it. When you are reinventing yourself and you're becoming that best version of yourself, you also have to be open to losing people, to letting go of traits and habits and routines that are no longer serving you. And again, it's going to be an uncomfortable situation even within yourself. You're going to have a battle within yourself. At the same time, you know what you want to do in your life, and always remember, being uncomfortable is a form of growth, in a good way. Good things always come from when we're growing. You may not see it now in the immediate eyesight, but in the future it always pans out to be successful and positive. So with that being said, I hope this video was helpful. I hope these tips are in fact practical as well, and they can help you along your reinvention journey, or your journey of just becoming that best version of yourself. Life is a journey, and of course everything takes time, so just make sure that you're open, you're willing, you're believing in yourself, and that you do whatever it is that you want to do to create your life vision. So with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will definitely talk to you guys in my next upload. Bye.